On this episode of The Localist, I'm talking with Paul Shunnarah. So Paul is co-owner of both Fit5 Meals and Gauntlet Fitness, and we'll talk a little bit about how those two things fit together. Fit5 is a meal prep program that is really helpful for people who are looking for healthy meals, who are maybe very into fitness and have certain macro requirements and calorie requirements, and just for people who are very busy. I use Fit5 myself. My husband and I have been using them for a long time, maybe even years, and I'm a huge fan, as you will find out in this episode. So I fangirl about these meals a lot on this episode, but it really is genuine. I really do love the meals. I also love this conversation. Paul gets into so many things that are important for business owners. He talks about his journey all the way from starting Gauntlet and really even before that, to how Fit5 started, how it grew, and where it is now, which is a subscription service. It is also just like a weekly ordering service. They also have grab-and-go meals. They have so much going on, and you'll find out about all of it today. I really love this conversation, and I hope you do too. So welcome to the podcast.
Yes.
First of all, I guess just tell us a little bit about how Fit5 got started. And I'm sure you've told this story a million times.
Yeah, but I love telling it so.
Yeah, just for people who aren't familiar.
Okay.
Why start a meal prep service? It frankly sounds really hard.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier than the restaurant business, which is what made me fall in love with it.
Yeah.
So back in 2017, I own a gym in town called Gauntlet Fitness. It's in Homewood. It's a kickboxing boutique studio. And all my clients at the gym, showing up to the workout was the easy part. It was the eating that I always saw people struggled with. Mm-hmm. So we all found this local chef that worked out of a restaurant downtown at 5 Points that would make your meals for you, and she'd bring them to the gym. She'd put them in the cooler for you. They're wrapped in a brown paper bag, literally look like lunchbox food. Yeah. And I noticed after a couple months that less and less people were ordering the meals. So just being a trainer at the class, I'd asked them what was going on with why they weren't ordering them. I know what it was for me, and I just wanted to hear their feedback. And price, variety, convenience. So she was about, at the time, which, this with inflation, it's all changed, but at the time, she was $15, $16 a meal, right? And then they were
Which now seems good.
Which now would be incredible, right? They were chef curated, which is awesome, but misses the macro piece. Carbs, fat, protein. It misses the substitutions of like Greek yogurt over butter and so forth. So I noticed that my meals were very light in calorie, and I think other people's did as well. And then she would bring you the meals every day, which was super tough.
Yeah.
So like you had to come to Gauntlet every single day to get your meals for every single day. She would bring them like 8, 9 o'clock, which means you missed breakfast.
Right.
Right. And then depending on your work schedule, it just wasn't very convenient for you to pick them up. So I go back to work. I own a company called Overtime Grill and Bar. I sold it in 2019. So Overtime was a restaurant that I built when I was 25 years old. Don't get into the bar business that early on, unless you really know what you're doing. So I own this restaurant, and one of my employees had always said to me, I'd love to make more money if there's ever any other opportunity. You as a small business owner, if you can think of anything, let me know. So I
actually love when people do that.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, pay me more for my same job.
Pay me more because I'm worth it.
Which I can't always do. It's so nice when somebody's like, what else can I do? Because I think as a small business owner, I'm way more likely to be able to find that than just find money
hanging in. If it was there,
Yeah.
And my 3 best employees are exactly that. They're the ones that have come and said, what can I do to make more money, or how can I earn this position, versus the one that just says, I'm struggling and I need you to pay me more.
Yeah.
So he came to me. I said, well, listen, there's this thing going on at Gauntlet where we all are buying these meals, and here's what I seen that hasn't worked for them and my clients. What if we got up here early in the morning and we started making meals for clients at Gauntlet? That's our easy end. So that's what we started doing. Very quickly, my business partner at the gym, David Sherem, calls me and says, hey, Paul, can you bring more meals down here? They're already gone. Yeah. And I was like, but how? We only made like 50, and you haven't even had 50 people in there. And he says, well, no, the people are buying 5 to 7 meals. They're getting the whole week's worth. So I picked up very quickly on the idea of meal prepping. Okay, they want the full week's worth of meals.
Yeah.
So we saw already that there was like a need for it. I started posting it on Snapchat, like us cooking the meals and so forth. That's how much times has changed with Snapchat at the time for us. And I was getting a lot of feedback. So as a small business owner, if I post today about something, if I get 1 or 2 likes, comments, or something on my story, I'm like, okay. But if I get multiples, I'm like, whatever I'm talking about in that was very interesting to a lot of people. And so when I brought up meal prep in my social media channels, I noticed that I was getting a lot of family and friends like, hey, I use big names like HelloFresh and others that make my food for me or prepare it. And so like, I'm very interested if you end up doing this. That's what made me just go instantly. So we started cooking meals for the people at the gym, and then we decided to transition our restaurant to having them there as well. So we emptied one of the beer coolers, like the bottom half of it, so the beers that weren't selling. Beer at the time when I had overtime, people changed which beer they drank, by the way. There was no loyalty. So when I was growing up, a guy that drank Bud Light and smoked a cigarette, that's what he did at the bar every single day. And it got to where, like, I think Fat Tire got popular for 2 or 3 weeks, and then Good People's IPA came out, and that took over. So we just took this section of the cooler and said, we're no longer doing the trends. We got rid of the beer that was in it. We minimized it. We started packaging the meals, leaving them there. We printed on the table a little black and white menu that was 1 through 5. We called them Overtime's Healthy Meals. We announced it on Facebook that you can now come there, pick up your healthy meals for the week. And at 10:55, we opened at 11. At 10:55, the day after the first post, there was a lady sitting out front of Overtime. And I walked out there and said, the grill's already going. What can I get you? And she was like, I'm actually here for the healthy meals. So we like 3 of us like at the counter were like, oh my God, like this is great. So we like all stood in front of her with the, with the menu and was like, oh, which one you like? And so she got same thing. She grabbed 7 meals. She has a cooler bag with her and she says, I'm taking these on the road. I'm trying to eat better, but I travel for work. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm going from fitness advocates at the gym to here was just a busy working woman who traveled for work who was like, I'm very interested in these meals. So I could like very quickly catch on that the need.
I literally did that 2 weeks ago, by the way. I took a trip and it was just like me, and I just got like I knew it was coming, so I over ordered on Fit 5.
Good for you.
Yeah. So anyway,
that's the key to it. Is the
I keep interrupting, but I really am a big fan.
No, keep
I'm not
going.
just telling you that because you're here.
I appreciate it. Yeah. So you'll have to tell me how you found out about it too. So we had this lady. She buys the meals. We're like, wow, this is just really a thing. So I started asking some friends, trainers from the gym, like if they can come and help us. So we'd meet Sunday morning at 4 a.m. When the restaurant wasn't open, obviously, and we'd start cooking. We'd move the tables together up front, and we literally created like a factory line. Like, okay, you are on one side, I'm on the other. I'm rice, you're chicken. And I would go down the line and plate these meals, and we would weigh every single ingredient to guarantee that if we said it had 40 grams of protein, we did, in fact, put you this many ounces of chicken. And so that quickly became 10-15% of our business was our regulars coming in, eating lunch, and then being like, grab me and my wife the number 3 and the number 4. So originally there was only 5 items on the menu, part of what the name came from. So it started growing. I decided to make it a thing, make it a company. The name Fit 5 comes from, it was Cinco de Mayo when we decided that we were going to do this. It was 5-5. Me and my cousins were sitting around, and we were all jabbering about the name, and one of my cousins came up with Fit 5 because it was fitness related, and we all landed on the idea of not just the fitness aspect of it, but Fit 5 fits into your busy schedule. It fits into your life. It fits into your diet. It fits into your macros. It fits into your budget. So we all love the word fit in there. And then the 5 came from that we decided we were only going to have 5 meals with 5 sauces. We're over 2,000. But at the time, that's what we thought. So we ended up making it the 5 principles of Fit 5. So like no subscriptions, no minimums, no added sugars, no added coloring, and no added junk to anything. So we keep our recipes as clean as we can.
Awesome. It's a nice way to pivot the name too. Like, and it's, I mean, you know this, but it's so smart to start with a limited number or a limited amount. Because I feel like most people are just like, let's add all this variety. And of course, when you open it up to customers are full of ideas. Not usually
the best ones usually sitting on the other side.
So just having it limited and making that work before you expand it, I think is so smart too.
Thank you. Yeah. And that'd be my like ultimate tip of like being able to pivot and pivot fast. And ultimately when it comes to like the idea, I think a lot of people take too long trying to perfect what they want to do, and years go by and they never get going.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you got to work quick
Yeah.
and move with it. So that's the name. It was Cinco de Mayo. It was 5-5.
Mm-hmm.
We came up with the idea of the 5 menus and so forth, the 5 sauces. So everything was going to be around the number 5, under 500 calories, which is very common for a consumer to think of when they're eating.
Yeah.
We were doing this like prior to, I think, the FDA announcing that like any restaurant over 10 or 12 locations had to add calories in to their website. You didn't actually have to have your nutrition facts. Yeah. So that was like a big deal that you could get that listed on the meal. So I get a phone call one day from a guy that went to Homewood, Brock Warren. So Brock owned Elite Nutrition. Brock calls me up and says, hey, I'm following what you're doing on social media. I don't think you realize like how big this can be.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, it's just kind of something that we're doing out of my restaurant. And he's like, listen, we need to sit down. We need to talk. Make me some meals.
Yeah.
I'll come and try. Brock is awesome because he loves to give real feedback. So he comes in, he taste tests them, and he says, this is what you need to do. This didn't taste that great. This one needs more of this, whatever. So he and I started working together, making these like better menus and so forth. And he asked if he could buy some meals to start having at his restaurant. At his nutrition store.
Yeah.
So he started getting 250 meals a week for his 3 locations.
Yeah.
That quickly became 1,000 a week for each location.
Yeah.
So very quickly we became a company. We partnered up. We moved into the Hoover Elite Nutrition. So Hoover Elite Nutrition, when you walk into the front of the store, we have smoothies, supplements, Fit 5 meals, has coolers all across the wall. And then there's a little hallway door that leads to the back, which was at the time, he just had it for storage.
Yeah.
We turned that into a kitchen. Okay.
Not easy.
Not easy.
Yeah.
Not big enough,
Yeah.
right? I didn't think big. I just really didn't think this was that grand.
Yeah.
And so it was like 1,000 square feet. Our walk-in cooler had a 5-foot door and was probably 6 foot wide. We now have like 4 walk-in coolers that are 20 feet each. So we eventually, as it grew, we knocked down the walls that were in the back of the warehouse and continued until now we're 9,000 square feet. Based out of Hoover. We have trucks that deliver all across the state of Alabama. We just launched Atlanta. So we'll be making our way. We do Columbus, Georgia, so we'll be making our way through Atlanta, coming back through Anniston, Oxford, and back into Birmingham. We already do North Alabama, Tuscaloosa, South down to Montgomery. So our growth now is hoping to get into Nashville, Chattanooga, and Atlanta. There still seems to be an area of opportunity for us there.
Yeah.
And then we, of course, ship regionally, through states.
I
But
think
nothing like getting it fresh.
Yeah, I think the shipping is cool, but one of the things I like about the getting it, because we get it delivered now, we used to pick up from Wheelhouse.
Yeah, which
and
is
then
right down
it
here.
is right down. This is the level of convenience I'm looking for. At first, we went to Wheelhouse, and then that became inconvenient.
Yes.
It's so close to Infomedia, which is where we are, but it takes so many turns, and then it's traffic and whatever.
Yeah.
And I was always just like, I just still don't want to pick them up. So when you guys
And then
were
it's
delivering,
it's a gym where people are working out, and you're walking in and you're dressed like, hey.
yeah, exactly. And I love that it's also just less packaging that way. We've tried all the HelloFresh and all the things, but I mean, when you ship, you have to package. But I really like the truck because it seems like you guys use pretty minimal packaging.
Minimal packaging, and the issue with shipping that we've learned is the barriers that have to go in. So you're relying on somebody else to get it to you, UPS being. And there's so many variables that come in, how hot their truck is, how long it stayed in a truck before it got moved. So they don't refrigerate it. So you have to use dry ice or gel packs. Gel packs make everything sweaty in the box.
Yeah.
Dry ice keeps it cold, but sometimes can almost make it freezing.
Yeah.
So then you get your meals if they get in a truck tonight and they deliver tomorrow morning, they are frozen.
Yeah.
But we guarantee fresh.
Yeah.
So so there's so many variables to it.
Yeah.
If you love us and you want it shipped, that's our option. Shipping food, if you've done it before, you're familiar with how it comes. The box, the packaging, and everything can't be as nice as when you just get it handed off to you.
Yeah, so that's one of the things I really like about it. Another thing you mentioned, the seasoning and things. Another service we tried, it was good, but it just was like meal prep, like if we'd done it ourselves.
Okay.
And so then eventually, after 3 or 4 weeks, you're like, I'm tired of eating this chicken that's seasoned the same way and the broccoli that's seasoned the same way. And I do think you guys have a huge variety of different, like, it's still chicken. Not always. There are other
But it's
things,
ways to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I could eat chicken 3 or 4 times a week from you guys, and it doesn't seem like I had the same meal.
Awesome. Good feedback. Yeah.
And I think that probably comes from you guys testing so much, like knowing, okay, the chef is maybe a step too far.
Yes.
But let's also have people actually test the restaurant, testing in the restaurant, testing with your business partner from Elite. And also soliciting feedback and being open to it. It sounds like you are. And
yeah, we send out polls probably every 3-4 months. Brock and I are super hands-on what did you like, what did you not like about it. That's a great perspective what you said about as far as it being not chicken every time. So one of our goals is to create meals that you already crave, better for you, healthy.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a hamburger steak on the menu.
Yeah.
When you think hamburger steak, you think meat and 3, butters, cooked in bacon.
Yeah.
We found a leaner, cleaner way of doing a meal like that with mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
And that's one of our number one sellers.
Like, I almost always, this is basically an episode about what I think. But usually I'll find some kind of pasta, and I always have that on Mondays because Mondays are just a long day. And I always know, like, oh, I have this, but it's still like, the macros or the calories that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Or macaroni and cheese or something like that. Like, I guess that's also pasta, but
yeah,
you guys have a huge variety of that.
Huge variety of the pastas.
I think people can see on the website. You don't have to be logged in to see that, right?
No, the website's available to you. That's another thing that we did was a ton of meal prep companies make email, telephone number, zip code before you can even see the menu and pricing.
Yeah.
It's just such a barrier of entry. It's just unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to know what you cook.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we tried to make it like right there. It is what it is.
Yeah. And your ordering doesn't have a huge lead time, I don't feel like.
No.
I mean, it's like maybe a week-ish before.
Yeah, so you can order as late as today's Wednesday, so you can actually order by tonight at midnight for Monday. If you do home delivery, we do Saturday, Sunday, and Monday home delivery, so you can get it as early as Saturday. We put a lot of pressure and stress on our team.
Yeah, it seems like it. I mean, I get why people have, like, it's nice for me as a client because my schedule will change for a couple weeks, and that's easy to be like, oh, I can still change. I mean, I can order my meals according to, am I going to be in town? Is Russell going to be in town? Whatever.
Yeah.
But when I'm ordering like 3 and 4 weeks ahead of time, it's hard to.
That's tough.
Predict. You know? But there's a reason people do that because it's easier for the team.
Yeah, and you could cancel it as well. Where subscriptions, like if you are subscribed, the cancellation still means you get the next order.
Exactly. Well, also, I think a lot of the things, if I don't go in and choose my meals, I just get random meals, and you guys don't do that either, right?
No. Yeah.
Which is, so if we're out of town for a week, we just skip. And I don't know, it's very convenient, very good, yeah.
Well, that's awesome, yeah.
But did you do all of that just because you were looking at it mostly from the consumer side from the beginning? Or did you try another way to do it? Like, how did you come to, we're going to do this the hard way, the good way for the customer? But
we saw it as an opportunity. It was we taste tested every meal prep company. To this day, we still order every meal prep company and have them shipped to Fit 5. Yeah. And we go through them and we're like, oh, wow, this trend of carnitas is blowing up in the health scene. Let's do something like this, right? But what we had a meal prep company that shipped us some meals, and then the packaging got there and it was hot, right?
Yeah.
And so we reached out and they were like, no problem at all. You got a brand new box coming in the mail in the next few days. So it was all free of charge.
Yeah.
From a business owner, from a consumer, awesome.
Yeah.
Business owner, doesn't work, right? You're refunding because of that. So we saw that their subscription model and their minimum model can kill you at times. I think the subscription world has its place, but so many people are tired of it and tired of these monthly charges that they don't want to have to do that. And we saw that some of these meal prep companies, that was like your only option was to subscribe. As far as the meals go and why we do them the way we do them, Brock and we look over every meal, so the team's not allowed to put out anything unless we taste tested it. And they also have to sit for 7 to 10 days before we try them. So we try them at its worst to see if they can make it at its best.
That's awesome.
So if something doesn't taste good, so we do this every Tuesday. So the cook and the chefs work a week in advance. So they made all the meals. We taste tested them yesterday, and then we say, great, this one made it. This one's now on the menu, and then we go towards the nutritionist of getting all the macros and stuff for it.
Yeah. If it doesn't make it, do they have a chance? Do they change things and present it again, or is it like okay?
So we have a cookie dough, protein cookie dough coming out that we've taste tested 5 times.
Yeah.
Too sweet the first time, too unsweet the last time. We've now nailed it in the middle.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then there's you got the logistics of things. Can you get the item or the ingredient that goes in this menu?
Yeah. Which that is hugely changing all the time.
Yeah, and it's gotten really tough.
So how do you approach that? Do you substitute it? Do you substitute it and call it something different, or do you let people know? So
no option. We can immediately shut something off the menu if there's no if we say it's chicken breast and we can't get chicken breast that week, it's not on the menu. But what works for us the best is that when you get on that website, it's something new every week. So you don't know that we may have behind the scenes changed our mind. On a meal, right? So I don't think the consumer ever really sees that part.
Yeah, I think that's
as
true.
much as we do. But behind the scenes, our team is on the phone with vendors all day. Like, hey, how much lettuce do you have this week? Are we able to put this on the menu? But I think we've got a good working relationship with all of our vendors where we're able to make it work.
You've also changed the price. Like we've gotten an alert that a meal is cheaper.
Yeah,
like
we did that 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah,
which is amazing. Like I didn't even notice because I noticed the total, but I don't notice
the individuals
per meal.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's great as a company, especially right now, to be able to just say like, "Hey, we got a price break on this, so we're passing it on to you."
Yes.
Is
transparency.
You just never see that.
No, I think I've seen the best results from just being transparent with people. People just want to know the truth.
Yeah.
I think when people feel lied to is when they're really bothered by it. So we came down on some things. So chicken got crazy high in March and April, $5.50 a pound for the fresh chicken, all natural chicken that we get, and so that yields to a chicken meal going from $12.99 to $14.99, just like that.
Yeah.
Right now it's steak. Beef's at an all-time high. If you've seen the news on that, steak is like $11 to $15 a pound wholesale.
Yeah, wow.
So there's, I think there's one steak item on next week's menu because who's going to pay $20 for a steak meal? When it's refrigerated.
Yeah.
So you go out to dinner, different story.
Yeah.
I think transparency was just the best thing that we can always do. Anytime like we've sent out a product that we weren't thrilled with, that we wanted to take back, we've just we sit over and we're all talking about it and we're like, let's just be honest. If we tell this person, hey, listen, we sent out a meal that we put the wrong sauce in it.
Right, yeah.
We just sent you a gift card. That meal's completely free.
Yeah.
If you want to enjoy it, if it's not what you expected, hand it off to somebody else.
Yeah.
But we're still paying you back for it.
Well, and I think also just having somebody you're trusting with making your food be transparent really helps because it is kind of like, you are putting a lot of faith in a company to say, I'm literally eating this. And also so many people are trusting you for the nutrition, which...
it's one of the big benefits of using it.
Yeah, and being transparent about those things, I think translates to like, okay, I trust this company, so I trust that the calories are what they say they are, the macros are what they say they are. Yeah,
building a brand with trust, I think it has a lot of values.
Yeah,
I think it's why you see like Chipotle and a lot of these restaurants now are converting to like you see in the kitchen.
Yeah,
they want you to know like, hey, that's really what's in that meal. So I love that you noticed that. That means a lot, and that I'll definitely have our team know that everything you're telling me today about what you like most about it.
Yeah, I also like. I mean, while we're on the subject, I feel like there is a good variety of calories in the meals. So my husband and I have really different needs as far as calories. Yeah, I am mostly podcasting or sitting behind a desk. He's mostly fighting people in a jiu-jitsu gym. So your needs are different, and we have had a lot of issues in the past not being able to find something that's low calorie enough to make sense for me. Okay. But also options that are high calorie enough that because he was literally eating like 2 meals before when we were having to get other services. Or I would have to eat half of a meal. And that's one thing I do think that the variety that you guys have created lead like a lens. I can find things for both of us.
A household can see its needs. Okay, that's good to know. So we saw that just from the numbers of like when we had lower caloric meals on the menu. So it was probably the most requested thing our company's ever gotten is lower calorie items.
Yeah.
But then when we provided it, they were the
Yeah.
least sales. I think.
Well, they're not like ridiculously low calorie, but there are enough things that if you're like, I work out, but not like heavy, you
Okay.
know? So I feel like if you're having just kind of a normal calorie need, you still have things that are like, it seems like 350, 400
Yeah.
calories.
Yeah.
And a lot of services don't. Like they start at 500. There's
And
nothing
they go up.
below. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would be hard to eat 2 of those a day and a big breakfast and
Yeah.
So I feel like there are always things that are, there's this one that I make a joke of here because it looks so plain. I never want to eat. It's like chicken, a sweet potato, and carrots.
Yes.
And I don't like carrots. So then I'm always like, but then every time I eat it, I'm like, because of the seasoning, this is really good.
Yeah, yeah.
So even the things that are, lower calorie, kind of plain, like once you eat it, you're like, oh, good.
That wasn't that bad, yeah.
Yeah.
The sauce, to me, is the kicker.
Yeah, the sauces are really good too. And you guys are pretty transparent about, I think the sauce is not included in the meal, but all the sauces, there's like a sauce
macro
I don't know,
guide,
like
yeah.
glossary or something.
Yeah. And we did that. We get that question a lot. Why is the sauce not included? And the reason being is because the whole
people
brand
don't eat
of what
the
we
sauce.
sell. Not everybody eats the
Yeah.
sauce. So it fits into everybody's diet differently, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So like you said, your husband eats one way, you eat another. So we're trying to reach everybody without losing who we are.
Well, I think that's exactly, again, like Russell doesn't like creamy sauces. So the fact that you have them on the side and they're not in there, I love them.
Yeah, he could take it and or not use it. Yeah.
I just think it does seem like you've approached this. It seems like, is this correct? Like your main groups are fitness and then busy people.
Busy people, yeah.
And it seems to like actually speak to both, and I don't think a lot of services do.
Right, yeah. Yeah, one is one or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that comes from Brock and I's background.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it comes from what we've seen from the data, which is most people just want the convenience of it.
Yeah.
The healthy side of it is more make what I love better for me.
Yeah.
I got that from the restaurant that I owned over time. We had some killer pastas on the menu. So I knew we wanted to incorporate pastas at Fit 5, but I saw the way we did it over time. So guy takes a skillet, takes liquid margarine, throws it on the skillet to make sure that it doesn't burn, right? Yeah. Did he weigh it? No.
Yeah.
Right? Did we buy grass-fed butter? Absolutely not. It's a bar, you know. So we threw all this down, and then he would literally go and take a bowl and he'd scoop out the cold pasta and he'd put it in the pan. Did you get 5 ounces or did you get 8? It varied by his hand that day.
Exactly, yeah.
And then seasoning, butters, heavy cream, and everything in our Alfredo sauce at overtime. It was just boom, 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 boom from a squirt bottle.
Yeah.
We layer with a ladle 3 to 4 ounces of whatever sauce it is on there.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and then we toss it.
Yeah.
So when we say this meal has 400 calories, it has 400 calories because unlike at a restaurant, they portion it, but it's not. They don't have to care about it being exact because they're not serving it to you at the table and saying, "By the way, honey, this is 400 calories."
Yeah, exactly.
So, so I think that's the difference maker. And then Brock and I are totally opposite sizes. Brock is 6'7". I'm 5'6".
Yeah.
I know you can't tell from the chair, but and so he knows what fills him up, and I know what fills me up.
Yeah.
So we have that like line in between.
Yeah.
Right. He can eat more than I can. And so that's, I think, where we find a happy medium on the calories of where something, what looks good in a container.
Yeah. Okay, so I kind of sidetracked us on my own preferences, but we kind of mentioned I used to pick up at Wheelhouse. Yeah. And then you guys started delivering. How did you make the transition to deciding we're going to deliver? Because again, it seems easier to say, because you were at Elite, and then you went to other gyms too, right?
Yep. So other gyms found out what we were doing, and that was how it all scaled.
Yeah. So then you kind of is that how it went from Elite to the gyms, and then from gyms to delivery?
Yep. So Gauntlet first, Elite overtime, the restaurant itself second. Then it went to Elite, and then other gym owners that go to Elite were like, hey, how can I do this here?
Yeah.
And then the home delivery option came because we saw during COVID that people weren't going to the gyms anymore. They were shut down. So we had to pivot to homes.
Yeah.
Homes is becoming, I think week over week, home delivery is becoming more and more with the growth, because I think more people are not working from an office, working from home more.
Yeah.
And then we have that Saturday, Sunday option.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you can start your week off with it.
Yeah.
So I think there's just a lot more benefits to getting it delivered to your house.
Yeah. Well, I agree, but it seems like that adds a ton of costs for you guys.
It does, yeah. We've had to pass that on. We can't do it
Yeah.
free like the partner
Yeah.
pickup locations.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a $14.99 delivery fee.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't got much bad feedback about that.
Yeah.
You know, you always see the memes and the jokes and stuff on social media
Yeah.
that like you'll have $4,000 worth of stuff in your cart.
Yeah.
And then you'll see a $7 charge for delivery.
Yeah.
And then you're like, yeah, I'm out. I don't
Yeah.
want that $4,000
Yeah.
worth of items. We were worried about that, but we didn't see that. I think it's I'm willing to pay $15 for somebody to handle it properly and deliver it to me. We deliver to tons of people's offices.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so on Monday morning, you're here, you have a cooler in your office, or a refrigerator here at work, and you can actually have them come to the front door.
Yeah.
You know, at this place. So much like the DoorDash kind of feature of like just getting it very quickly to you directly, I think that option is super helpful.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, and you kind of focus on breakfast a lot too. Is that correct?
There's breakfast items on there. Yeah, we haven't seen breakfast is not considerable to be like one of the bigger things for us.
Yeah,
and I think it's breakfast is not as popular as it once was for people.
Yeah.
I don't know if you read any of that stuff.
Well, is it intermittent fasting or is
intermittent fasting? Everybody's on the like I don't eat until noon.
Yeah.
I think we all think we're so busy and time so sped up.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, like I couldn't tell you how many consumers we talk to, and I see this at Gauntlet too, where they literally don't eat till lunch.
Yeah.
If they do eat, it's like a protein bar, protein shake, or quick snack.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I turned 40 on Monday.
Yeah.
So when I was growing up, everybody you sat down as a family for breakfast, you know?
Yeah.
I watched my dad eat his eggs and toast before he went to work. But I don't know. I think that part of it's just dying off as a generation.
We're seeing fewer cereal commercials, so we don't have somebody out there telling us to eat breakfast all the time. There's no newspaper.
Yeah. I'm good with the fewer cereal commercials.
Yeah. I think that's true. I mean, a lot of people, and also your breakfast, I think, is easy to meal prep. Like I eat breakfast every morning, but that's an easy thing for me to do. Yeah. My day hasn't really gotten crazy yet. But lunch and dinner is usually what I'm using.
When you're getting busy,
for,
that's a good perspective. Yeah. I'm an overnight oats guy.
Yeah.
And then I'm a boiled eggs and just Dave's Killer Bread.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that. I think it's just it's just easy. Yeah.
Yeah. But also, it's nice that you guys have those, and you have desserts and things like that. So
we have treats, and we have bulk. So we have you can buy chicken by the pound.
Yeah.
We use that the most at my house. So I cherished the most about Fit 5 once I had kids. Mm-hmm. That's when I saw the value in it more than ever. So my wife and I used it prior to us having kids. Yeah. Now that we have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, we haven't missed a week unless we're out of town in probably 2 years.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of that way my husband and I don't have kids, but we both have a full-time job and other jobs. So I think when we both took on the additional things, it became like, there's no time for this. Yeah. So it is nice to have when life gets very busy. And I think for you guys and for other couples too, probably that have kids, it's kind of, I always hear about like you have to make something different for the kids. Yeah. And this way you're at least making one thing for the kids.
One thing for the kids. Yeah. So one meal usually plates 2 to 3 times for the kids. So both of them can eat off of one and there's still being leftovers the way we treat it. So they love the quesadilla. They love the burgers. And all we do is just literally we heat it up, and if the meal's not already diced, we cut it up a little bit more.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so you transitioned to delivery, and then is that what it seems like you guys are focusing on? Let's look at the Southeast and focus on the delivery option. And yes, have shipping available, but that's not really a big...
Yeah, that's not a big priority for us. The bigger priority now is using refrigerated trucks that we own now that deliver all across the state, but going into bigger metros like Atlanta, Nashville, Chattanooga's blowing up.
Well, even that is a little bit of a good ad. Like, I had mine dropped off and opened the door and saw the truck driving by, and I was like, that's kind of nice that the whole neighborhood sees the ad.
The Fit 5, yeah. And I got that. So my last name's Shunnarah, so I got that from Alex, the big billboard you see around town.
Yeah, that's true.
So I got that like free publicity idea from him.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah.
Well, what have you done that maybe you would have done differently? Like, we tried this and it didn't work at all, or I wish I would have known this when I was setting this up, either logistically for the meal side or just like the business side.
So meal prep was super tough to get into. So the restaurant business, there's so many people that do it. You can work for one and know the operations before you ever go in on your own.
Yeah.
That would have been my premature mistake with owning overtime.
Yeah.
When I first started it, was I probably should have went to go work for a restaurant before I built a bar and restaurant. Because I mean, my bartenders were literally telling me like what went in drinks. For like the first year. My cooks were like, no, that tender basket gets 5 pieces of chicken. This is how you lift up the fry roll. So that's first. Like I would definitely recommend in any business that you go into, you try to work it as much as you can before you enter. In the meal prep side, what's been so tough for us is it's a very unknown territory, and everybody in it, because they shipped, there's only been a few that have been willing to talk to us. Right? I think that when we've reached out to them at times, they're like, oh, are you considering coming to Atlanta? Why? Are you shipping to Florida now? Whereas we have a few. I've made a lot of connections through Instagram, just literally DMing other small meal prep companies. I mean, we've answered questions and we've coordinated back and forth conversations like, where do you get your stickers from? How many cooks do you have in a kitchen? That's what's been the hardest part is how do you grow this thing that's being done, but it's not being done as big as you think. There's restaurants all over, but treating this like a restaurant is totally different. The customer's not there. So, like, me hearing this feedback from you is awesome. When you own a restaurant, you can get that every day. You can walk to the table and say, Carol, what'd you like about that? How was your service? At Fit 5, when you deliver something, when somebody goes and picks it up from Wheelhouse and they get home that day, right? And they have the wrong meal included. You should. The way people give you that feedback is a little bit different because they don't see you yet. The emails normally come off a little bit more tough. Hey, I'm missing this meal. I don't know why you guys messed this up. I need my meal ASAP. You messed up my whole week. And then it's on us to correct that. And so because of that, I think that's what's made it so tough is you don't have all that information in front of you like restaurants do to say, hey, this is how we do things. So that would be the hardest part, is that the meal prep business is still kind of untouched. There's like a fine line of like, if you're too small, there's not enough money in it, and you can't hit all the legalities with the health department. And if you stay in the middle, there's just not enough money to be made to go to the top. And that's been really tough too, is finding that you're a local business, but you're trying to gain regional growth.
I also think that's interesting, your point that you can't talk to other business owners, because that was huge. I felt like owning Church Street, like as soon as we actually signed the lease, everybody was happy to talk to us. When it was just theories and everybody is like, everybody wants to own a coffee shop. Me
included.
Well, we can talk. But then everybody was pretty open with information, especially, it seems like a market like Birmingham. Of course, you're going to have people who are like, no, but I don't want to talk to you. But it seems like typically people are fairly happy to talk to you even if you're in a similar business. You have peer, whatever. But that is, everybody's going to be scared when they haven't met you and they're like, are you just trying to come into my community?
Space,
I didn't think about that. That's interesting.
And maybe it's the shipping aspect of it. As a coffee shop, maybe if you go speak to somebody in another city, they're not concerned. So maybe it's that, that they think that we're coming into their territory. But you'd be surprised, like, hey, what oven do you use? Which when you grew, because that changes, right?
Exactly.
And so, we haven't been able to get as much information. We've had to do a lot of like trial and error in our own space. That's been super tough.
That makes sense. How do you fit this in with your other businesses? Because I know about Gauntlet, but tell us about that and then your other businesses and how are you doing all of this?
Okay. No sleep, caffeine. Same thing everybody says, right? So it all started, Gauntlet itself. So I think I feel comfortable now saying like I'm in the wellness space and this is where I want to be. I have a couple events that I plan to put on in the next few. One's coming on in October where we're doing a 24-hour men's retreat. You have to be a leader, a business owner, and enjoy fitness. Because we're going to run, we're going to hike, we're going to cold plunge, we're going to sauna. We're going to be doing all the nuances of wellness. And so that's going to streamline the people that come to the event. And then I also...
kind of like that. It reminds me of those... Jocko used to have those.
Yes. So you're familiar with this. So the wellness movement is huge right now. I mean, estimation $1 trillion industry. We're all working on our longevity. We all want to live longer. This generation coming up like drinks less. I saw that the other day.
We've talked to good people, and it's really interesting.
NA beer is like officially a category, right?
Yeah. I even read that younger people aren't like opening tabs because they're just like, I'm just going to get one. Why would I open a tab?
Why would I open a tab?
Yeah.
Interesting. Glad I'm out of that business.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I officially see myself in the wellness space.
Mm-hmm.
I've been blessed enough to create an environment now. I've got an awesome team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I really understood that early on. I'm a Palestinian Christian, and my family's a very hardworking family.
Yeah.
I come from a long lineage of successful family members, and it was always taught to grind, right? No sleep, work all day.
I mean, your
as much money
family's
as
famous for that in Birmingham. You mentioned the
100%.
billboards,
Yeah. You can name so many businesses here locally that we have, and Brock came to me probably 2 or 3 years ago and was like, "You can't cook the food. Plate it. Run your gym.
Right.
And take care of your son.
Yeah.
Right. And see your wife.
Yeah.
And so he kind of like egged it on like early on, like, hey man, just pull yourself back just a little bit. And so I kind of did it like week by week. And then I noticed, oh my God, the building's not on fire.
Yeah.
I actually had this conversation with a really good friend, Blake Parker, yesterday. He paints motorcycles, one of the best in town. And he went on a camping trip with his wife for the first time as a business owner. In like 10 years. And he was like, I'm going to do more of this. And he said to me in the text, I was like, did anything happen at work? And he's like, no. Like, so it can happen if you find the right people. So the easiest way for me to do it now is I've got an awesome staff. Lance at Fit 5 is awesome. Michael and the team at Gauntlet is incredible. Elliot at Elite is awesome. And then everything else is I've just invested in. So now that I'm 40, my next stage of my career, I hope to be in just like on the consultant investment side of things. Small business levels, and down. So I'm not getting anything too crazy. I've been in rental business now for 20 years. So I owned my first rental property at 20 years old. And I continued to buy houses in the area of town I grew up in. So I grew up over here in Southside, right down the road by UAB. That's where my family, when they first came to America, that's where they established themselves. So it's very means a lot to me to go in that area and keep supporting it. The Glen Iris community, if you're familiar with that. So I have rental properties. So between having the multiple streams of income and having the right team, now I've just fully committed myself to my kids. After 1 o'clock, so I get up at 3:30 in the morning, Monday through Thursday. And I work till about 1, 2 o'clock. And that's it. Every Monday through Thursday. And then I'm off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. When I say off, just like you, business owner, cell phone's still on. Right. Problems still happen. Things still have to be managed, but I'm not physically required to be anywhere.
Right. Well, and I think it's when you're doing that, but you also did the grinding and the doing the fry basket and being in the gym and all of the things. I think that really impacts how you lead. I mean, there are a lot of people who are trying to do what you're doing now without doing the first part. And
more than ever. Every coffee meeting I've had in the past year has been, I have this idea. I'm going here. No, I don't want to do that. Right,
exactly.
I don't want to do that part in between.
But the idea, I mean, I think the idea is not the part. Like, we all have ideas.
Right.
Like, it's, can you put the
pen to paper?
And the pieces together and make this happen. And even when you do different things now, because you've built other businesses, it doesn't have to be the same business. Like the things that you did building your restaurant, the things you did right, the things you did wrong are still going to impact what you're doing now. You don't just have to do gyms and meal prep services, but I think doing the legwork makes a huge difference for the business and also for the team. To know that you're willing to do that and not just like, well, I'm special, I'm going to be over here. I'll come taste the food and point out the mistakes, but I won't help you.
But I won't help you do it. I still teach classes at Gauntlet. I think that's a big part of it. I still go there a couple times a week and teach a class. I think if there's any mistake that you can get figured out early on by working it, the better off you are in the long run.
Well, we could keep talking. I can say more good things about your food, but kind of tell people how to find you, how to get connected if they're like, okay, I'm sold, I want to try this. What do they do?
So fit5meals.com, spelling out the number FIVE. And we also have an app on the App Store that you can download. Makes it easy. You also get the push notifications if you do the app. So we drop a new menu every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. And then you have until Wednesday at midnight to place the order. And then you have the option, once you select your meals, you have the option of, are you having this delivered to your house or office? Are you picking it up at a free pickup location, which is all of our partner gyms or nutrition stores? You've got to if it is your first time order, use the code WELCOME50, all caps. That'll give you 50% off your first order. Try it out. DM me directly and say, hey, Paul, these are great.
So find you on Instagram?
You can find the companies. You can find all of my companies on Instagram. You can find me personally on Instagram. Yeah. So my real name is Bullis.
Okay.
I started going by Paul at probably 20, 21 years old. So when I got to college at UAB, most teachers couldn't say my name. Yeah. As sad as that sounds. Yeah. And when I had my first business was a stereo shop. Have you been on Green Springs lately?
Not that lately.
Not lately. Yeah. Have you seen Baba Java on Green Springs Highway?
Oh, I didn't know they were there. Yeah.
He said they're right at the edge in the front of it. So Baba Java was my first business.
Oh, okay.
So it was called Appearance Car Audio. I did wheels, window tint, car stereo. That was how I first learned entrepreneurship. Yeah. And so that business, I'm forgetting where I was going from there. My name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I was like.
You're good. I was like, what am I talking about? Okay. So when I had that first business and then being in college, neither my teacher or my clients at the store could call in and say my name. So they would say things like, is the little bearded kid there? You know? And so that eventually I have a cousin with the same name, Bullis. We're named after my grandfather, means strong horse. Yeah. And he told me, he's like, listen, dude, on my business cards I go by Paul now. That's what my name means in English, and it's just easier. Yeah, filling out pieces of information. I mean, every phone call would be like 10-15 minutes of me just explaining my first name. Yeah, it's like this would be so much faster.
My last name is Rollwagen, and people just say like they just make the beginning sound. Okay, and then I'm like, oh, it's fine, but I'm like, it's two words you already know. So I can't even imagine.
You can't understand why they're missing it.
Well, it's fine with me, but like how often you would get that if you have a name people aren't familiar with. And I'm like, you are familiar with these two words, just not as a name.
Just not as a name. Yeah. So Bullis is my first name. If you want to find me on Instagram, it's Bullis P. Shunnarah.
Cool. And we'll link to all this in the show notes. So awesome. If you're listening and you're like doing the dishes or driving, it's fine. You can find this.
Hey, if you're doing the dishes, that's why you really need Fit 5.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's another thing we didn't even talk about.
Yeah, we can eliminate that for you.
And do you still have a grab and go location?
Yeah. So Elite Nutrition's our grab and go stores, Hoover and Vestavia. In Huntsville, we have Absolute Nutrition. So go inside those stores any day of the week, and we stock them up with fresh meals. That, to me, is the best way to get them. So the Vestavia one's on 31, right there across from Chick-fil-A, and then the Hoover one is right down past the Galleria. Cool. And so we tell people all the time, if you forgot to order or you just right now you leave work and you want something for dinner, just stop by and grab whatever you need.
Or you just want to try it out if you're like,
if you want to just go try a single meal and not save all the trouble online ordering, just go try a single meal and see what you think.
And we didn't talk a lot about this, but there isn't really a commitment. Like, it's not a subscription where I guess we got into that a little bit.
No commitment, no minimums on how many you can order. We have people that just order one meal a week because they only work at the office on Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah. The Localist podcast is written and produced by me, Carrie Rollwagen. We record right here at Infomedia Studios. So if you're interested in a podcast or recording just a podcast season, or even just some short social media videos for yourself or your business, we'd love to help. To get that process started, just head to infomedia.com and fill out the contact form. Find show notes about this week's topic at carrierollwagen.com, and you can find me on social media pretty much everywhere at CRollwagen. There's a whole team that helps me put this podcast together. Our showrunner is Taylor Davis. Elena Harmon is our promotions manager. And Paul Bryant is our studio engineer. So until next time, here's to thinking global by acting local and putting small shops before big box.